Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Tellor Dev Call. Today is Monday, the 12th, 2025. Happy Mother's Day. And this week, we continue to test things for Tellor Layer. And we have 3 upcoming PRs that will be included on our next upgrade, which will happen at some point next week. We'll be closing out upgrades and optimizations on Friday. We have a PR for forking coming from Caleb, another PR for selectors to be able to become reporters, or reporters to be able to become selectors coming from Dan. Adding a way to standardize query data information on the daemon coming from Akram. And then Tim, you've been working on penalties for malicious attestations. And with that, let's get started on where everybody's at. And then, hopefully this will be quick. Tim?
Yeah, so I've been working on that PR for penalizing any validator attestations that don't correspond with any real data on chain. So I have the logic laid out for actually verifying that there's a bad attestation, and now I'm making sure I get the slashing side of things correct. So I'm adding that part. Yeah, and then working on testing that. And then kind of probably another very much smaller separate PR is adding a panic for any nodes that cannot sign attestations. We want to make sure we get validators signing these attestations because the bridge relies on that. So we and in our test net, we've seen some validators don't quite have their setup correct. Some of them are missing attestations. So we want to add a panic if that's not working, so then we can work with them to make sure they get their setup correct.
Okay, and just so that can you clarify what panic is? So that people are like, they're adding a panic. I was like, what?
A panic is just going to stop the whole node process. So if there's a failure when they try to sign an attestation, then we'll shut down the node. So they should find that out right at the beginning of setting up their node. And then, yeah, we can hopefully correspond with them and figure out how to get the setup correct.
Awesome. All right, Dan.
The selector reporter stuff is all tested and ready to go.
Thank you. Akram.
Excuse me. I'll be reviewing that PR and testing out the daemon stuff that I added. So
Caleb.
I'm gonna be getting that export import stuff merged in and dealt with, and then after that's merged in, I'm going to be taking that and the forking stuff that I've been doing and create a testing setup that we can export the actual state of the chain and test with like actual chain data, and so it's a more realistic environment.
Buddy.
Yeah, I'm just working on some crazy AWS issues right now.
And you're also trying to set up our archive node, which is great.
Yeah.
All right, Brian.
Still working on the bridge page for the layer functionality. Had a little breakthrough last week, so I'm just trying to make sure that we can get a full successful transaction from layer to Sepolia. And then once I can finally get that communication complete, then I can start adding the other functionality like the requesting attestations, delegating, selecting, things like that.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Also, at the end of the month, I will be in Prague, speaking at Prague, I'll be doing a presentation on oracles and on oracles and carbon credits. Then I will be in Belgrade right after that, and then DAPCon in Berlin, and then I'll see you guys at ECC. So if you guys are at any of these conferences, let me know. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. And Ryan, do we have any questions?
No questions.
All right. So that's it for this week, guys. See you next week.